Hey, you guys. Hey, everyone. Welcome. Whoa, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. So, this past week's episode, we got to see Ryan Edwards and Taylor McKinney kind of for the first time alone talk about, their experience with each other and kind of make amends, I guess you could say. Ryan acknowledges that Taylor was there for Bentley when he wasn't there. And Taylor think Taylor even had to acknowledge that he could have went about things a different way because honestly, I think Taylor went about things the right way. He could have went a little harder, to my opinion, but whatever. But Taylor, because Taylor got into it with Larry at one point, and because there was a moment that Ryan was so upset with Taylor that Ryan called and threatened to, put a pew pew to Taylor's head and blow his brains out. Um, and they got a RO. Taylor kind of felt like he needed to not necessarily apologize, but at least like say something like, well, I could have went about things a different way. Now, if you watched last week's episode, I think it was Taylor McKinney and Tyler Baltiera hung out. And Taylor brought up like needing to have a discussion with Ryan. And the way that it made it seem, it was to me, it felt like Taylor wanted to kind of give Ryan the option or the ability to like apologize. Cause he was like, I don't want to apologize, but like, what if he's got something he wants to say to me and he don't know how to bring it up? It was something along those lines. And he's like, I don't necessarily think I need to apologize, but like, I feel like I do need to say something to give him the ability to say something if he wants to. Like we're around each other now, and like I don't know if he wants to apologize. I don't know if he wants to even bring it up. But like, how do I say something to give him that opportunity if he was to want to? And Taylor made it clear. He's like, I don't feel like I need to apologize to him. And Tyler said, well, you don't have to apologize to him because for what? But what you can do is you can acknowledge that maybe you handle things a little wrong, or you can say you wish you would have handled things a little differently. You don't have to apologize, but you can say that. You can say you wish you would have handled things a little differently, right? Whatever. So at Amanda's baby shower on last week's episode, not this past week, week before last, at Ryan and Amanda's baby shower, Taylor, Larry, and Ryan had a little bit of a talk. Larry cried and was like, thank you, Taylor. Thank you for sticking it out. Thank you for loving Macy and Bentley and Ryan. He literally said, thank you for loving Macy, Bentley, and Ryan. And I think Ryan said something like, Ryan commented about that, about, well, at least you don't hate me, or I don't know. Either way, Larry walked off and Taylor invited Ryan to go golfing so they could have a chance to like kind of smooth over their issues with each other because I mean they had issues, they don't anymore, but they had issues and they never discussed anything. So Taylor, I guess, just really wanted a discussion. Yeah, I think Taylor just wanted a discussion to acknowledge, like, hey, we went through a lot, put it all behind us. You're doing good. Let's move on. Whatever. So they go golfing, and that's what happens. Ryan acknowledges, Taylor's role in Bentley's life. I'm going to read this article, but then we'll watch the clip because I do have the clip. I know MTV is going to get me, and I'm going to have to appeal it. But whatever. All right. Let me make this a little bigger. There was, I'm just like, Ryan can apologize to Macy, Taylor. I'm like, why not apologize to Mackenzie then for all that you've done to her? I think everybody thinks Mackenzie is a bitch, and I'm sure she is at times. She's warranted to be at times. But right now everything's so great. And I see people saying, oh, things are great between Macy and Ryan now. So Mackenzie clearly was the problem. Ryan's drug addiction had nothing to do with it. Not at all, but whatever. But why not go ahead and say, you know what, I made some mistakes with Mackenzie as well. We both messed up. I feel like if Ryan was to like apologize to her and be sincere and stop, never say anything negative, don't let that happen. Don't let his fiance. I think Mackenzie would be like, thanks. And they could work towards having a more civil relationship. Now, I don't know Mackenzie to say that, but I just feel like it would help at least. It wouldn't, she might not jump right to getting along with him, but I think it would help. But Ryan's not there. Like, Ryan still has a lot of anger and bitterness at Mackenzie. People say Mackenzie's bitter, but I think Ryan has bitterness as well for Mackenzie. So anyways, I just think it's interesting because I feel like the way he acted and treated Taylor and Macy, he has treated Mackenzie ways, and I feel like years down the line, like he may hopefully realize, like, wow, that was messed up. I shouldn't have treated her that way, and hopefully he'll apologize at some point in time. But either way, this is what People Magazine said, and then I'm gonna read, or we're gonna watch the clip. Taylor Mckinney and Ryan Edwards have worked past their differences. The relationship between Macy, Bookout McKinney's husband, and her ex, with whom she shares 16-year-old son Bentley, has not always been an easy one. Ryan's sobriety has brought a lot of growth to the co-parenting dynamic, something that continues during a conversation between the two men on this week's episode of Teen Mom, The Next Chapter. Ahead of the conversation with Ryan, Taylor shares his thoughts for the conversation with his wife, explaining that he wanted to take accountability for the time he crossed the line while also acknowledging it was a response to the situation at the time. Taylor explains, I could approach it like I was trying to stand up for my family, but I could have gone about it in a different way. Macy agrees that some conversation between the two addressing what went down between them is overdue. And I could get that. It might be really hard. Um, that's true. Ryan should have already apologized to Taylor. That's first part of the 12 Steps program. Yeah, I forgot about that. Things are going good, but that doesn't mean that with this no co-parenting journey, it might not get hard, she acknowledges. It's just like creating a new space for conversation and communication. It's never been like that before, or it's never been there before. So there's a picture they posted later on. Was this later on? Yeah, okay, I don't know. When they met up for the golf outing, the two catch up about Ryan and fiance Amanda Connor's plans as they prepare to welcome their first baby together. Ryan mentions that at the time the scene was filmed, he had been a year and 7 months sober. Wow. He admits, I never thought I'd get this far. I think if I would have met you sober when I first met you, it would have been completely different, Taylor says. I just didn't know that side. So I kind of kept you at like arm's length. Arm's length. I didn't want to make the situation worse, but I wanted to protect my family. I just went about it the wrong way. Acknowledging a time that he unleashed on Ryan's dad, Larry, on camera, Taylor continues. I had one goal going into that day. It was not to make things worse. I failed at that. Ryan says, it happens. It happens. I don't know why it says that part. I was in that way. He says it happens. It happens. At some point, he says, I was a knucklehead getting high all the time. I know that made it a lot harder for everyone. You guys, mom, dad, Bentley. Taylor admits, I don't know that I knew what I was getting myself into. I hadn't even had a serious girlfriend. And then I had one that was long distance with a 5-year-old. I can see that you and Bentley have a great relationship, man. And you really have taken a lot of time and effort. And I appreciate that, Ryan says. Even when we're butting heads and hated each other, somewhere deep down, I still wanted you to do well. Because at the end of the day, you're Bentley's dad. They both acknowledged that things are in a better place and promised each other to resolve things civilly if things ever do change in the future. We'll just talk it out. We'll just talk it out. Hell, if we can come out here and golf today after everything else that's happened in the past, I'm sure we can come up with something to fix it. Ryan laughs. And they proceed to play golf. I literally have the clip. Let me see.
bigger place soon.
That's awesome.
There'll be more space for the baby. Amanda's.
I gotta make it littler because MTV is so bad about catching you. It doesn't matter. They're gonna get me. It'll probably be blocked. I'll have to appeal it. Okay. So this is them on the golf cart where Ryan's saying we're about to get a bigger house. There'll be more space for Bentley can come over. There'll be a space for the baby, Amanda's son. So he's just telling Ryan that in the golf cart they're about to get out and have a little conversation.
Son, and Bentley can come over anytime he wants.
Nice.
You've
been doing good?
Yeah, a year and 7 months.
Sober?
Yeah.
Dang.
A year and 7 months.
that I'd make it this far.
I think if I'd have met you sober when I first met you, it would have been completely different. I just didn't know that side, so I kind of like kept you at arm's length.
He says that, if he would have met him sober, hopefully he would have continued to stay sober. Or maybe he would have gave him more of a chance. I don't know. But you know what I noticed when watching this, and I have to stop and commentate? YouTube, MTV is probably going to get me for copyright, but as long as I stop and commentate, I can appeal and I should win. So, all right. So you know what I noticed though? That's a unique haircut, right? Looking at it, I was like, that's a unique cut because it's very short on this side, or not very short, but short. And then it's long right in the middle and it swoops from the middle, not from, it doesn't, well, if it was a swoop over all the way, it'd be a comb over. But, so it's probably best that he don't let it grow out and then swoop the whole thing over because that would be very Trump-esque of him. You know what I'm saying? Get the whole comb over. But is that a hairstyle y'all see often that it's longer in the middle and swoops? I don't know if I've seen, maybe I have. But as I was watching this, I noticed that I was like, that's a unique hairstyle. Let's continue.
Just to, I didn't want to make the situation worse, but I wanted to protect my family. I just went about it the wrong way.
I get it,
basically.
though.
Yeah.
I understand.
Even that time I got in an argument with your dad, and I had one goal going into that day, and it was not to make things worse, and I failed that.
It happens.
It happens.
It happens.
You know what's so funny though is Ryan does say I was a knucklehead, and when Taylor is admitting his faults, when I got into it with your dad that day, I went into it like not wanting to do that. I went into it with the idea that like I was not going to make things bad, but then I did. And I just feel like Ryan should, and I'm not Ryan, but if I was Ryan and I did all this stuff, I would be like, man, I completely understand. I drove you to that. Don't apologize to me for you reacting the way that you did. I caused that. I know I did. He's like, it happens. No, it happens. It happens, And then he does go on to proceed to say that he's been a knucklehead. But it's just like, I'm sorry that I caused this. I guess that's what I was like, because Taylor said it will give Ryan the ability to apologize if that's what Ryan wants to do. But he really didn't. He really never said, like, I am sorry for all the trauma I caused y'all. The trauma, the drama, messing with your baby mama, like all of it, I'm sorry. He really didn't come out and say that, but I guess he did acknowledge that Taylor has been a dad. And, so props to that. But I was really hoping he would say, I'm sorry.
I was a knucklehead, acted like a knucklehead, getting high all the time now.
That's true.
I was a knucklehead.
That's true. I know that made it a lot harder for everybody. You guys, mom, dad, Bentley, everybody.
Yeah. And looking back now, I don't know that I knew what I was getting into. I hadn't even had a serious girlfriend, and then I had one that was long distance with a 4-year-old, 5-year-old.
And I can see that you
I
and
just cut that
Bentley have
out.
a great relationship.
Okay, so now he's about to go into tell him he realizes how great of a relationship is. And he does thank him for that. He does thank him. He doesn't necessarily come out to say, I apologize for everything that I've caused, but he does at least say, thank you for being there for Bentley. Props to that.
Yeah, man, and you really love
know,
it because you
JD.
take a lot of time
Yeah.
and effort, and I appreciate it.
Even when we were butting heads and hated each other, somewhere deep down, like I still wanted you to do well because at the end of the day, you're Bentley's dad.
And because Taylor, that's decent of you. That's how people should be like right now, I feel like okay, Amanda should want Ryan and Mackenzie to be able to get along so they can co-parent in a cohesive manner. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like Taylor's saying, I always wanted things to run smoothly. Like I always wanted the best for you because you're Bentley's dad. Like even in the worst, I deep in my mind, in my heart, I'm like, I hope he gets his crap together. And honestly, I feel like that's just like, I don't know. That's cool that he always felt that way. And decent people do. Like I've always felt that way about Michael. Like Sean's always felt that way about Michael. Like, oh gosh, that's my longtime people. Y'all know who I'm talking about. My older kid's dad. Like we've always wanted that for him to get his crap together so he can be a good dad, you know. Um, let's continue.
You know what I mean? All I know is it's a hell of a lot easier and a hell of a lot more fun now.
Yeah, it is.
And it's got to be a hell of a lot more fun for Bentley.
So if it ever gets rough, we
Got
promise we'll
music in
just
the
talk it
We'll
background.
talk it out.
out. All right. Hell,
So yeah, Ryan says if it ever gets tough, we'll talk it out. And he says if we can come out here and golf after everything that we went through, then we can fix anything, man. And they agree to that. So, I'm sure it does feel good for Taylor, who has taken what 12 years of his life. He gets into this relationship with this woman who has a kid, a 4 or 5-year-old, and the next 10, 11, 12 years of his life, he is daddy to this boy because Ryan wasn't. He literally coached Bentley's, ball teams. He's so involved, and Ryan hasn't been. So for him to actually get a thank you, like he deserved that. Taylor deserved a thank you, and it was well overdue for Ryan to say thank you so much for what you did. He should tell Mackenzie thank you for what Macy and Mackenzie. He should tell both of his baby mamas thank you for raising these kids. Thank you for making sure they have food on the table. Thank you for making sure they have clothes on their back. Thank you. They all are owed a thank you, in my opinion. But I guess you got to start somewhere, and he started with Taylor. Hopefully, by this point, he has told Macy thank you. But yeah, I was expecting an I'm sorry. I wanted to hear him say I'm sorry. But yeah, you guys leave your thoughts in the comment section below. It's Friday night. It's 10:39. I'm tired, and I got some TikToks I got to edit, so I'm gonna go ahead and close this one out. But maybe next Friday night we'll do a hangout, like a hangout where we can just talk about nonsense and whatever. But yeah, you guys leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. I know a lot of recovering addicts that don't act like Ryan, even though he's in recovery. He's still a brat. Yeah. Yeah. Amanda acts like Mackenzie is just Ryan's ex when she needs to act like he is the father to their children. You know what's crazy? And listen, it's kind of crazy. But somebody sent me like a screenshot of Amanda's like profile and it had wife on it. And the person that sent it to me was like one of my followers, just thought like, why does her page have wife? Like they're not married. And I was like, wonder whose wife she is, because Ryan still got one, and it's Mackenzie. Unfortunately, I know neither one of them are happy about that. I know they both probably want that divorce to happen, but I just thought it was funny because a subscriber of mine like messaged it to me was like, "Did they get married?" Because her thing says wife, and I'm like, "No, maybe she's still married. I don't know." Um, no idea what I just commented. Where are you at? No, got all. No, got all. No, not at all. Oh, night all. Good night. Anyways, you guys, leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe. Were you guys expecting an I'm sorry? Hey, they made amends. They've been golfing a lot since. They did Easter together. So they're doing great. Ryan does wear a ring on the wedding finger on episodes. Yeah, that's, I think, a ring for him and Amanda, I think. I don't think it's like his, or maybe he did keep his ring with him and Mackenzie, and maybe he does wear it, and maybe it's representative of him and Amanda now. I don't know. You guys leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. If you don't follow me on my other social media platforms, Please go follow me. I am trying to build them. I'm currently trying to build my TikTok, my Instagram, and my Facebook account. So if you don't follow me there, please go check me out. Also, there's another account that's ran by somebody really special to me that I love, 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 love. It's called Daily 10 Piece. It's short videos of characters from the Bible, historical figures, and it gives like encouraging videos. So if you don't follow Daily 10 Piece, go check them out as well. They're on all the platforms. If you want to follow them on all, do that. If you want to follow them on one, do that. And yeah, I'll see you guys. If nothing happens over the weekend, we'll be back Monday. If something pops off over the weekend, you guys know I'll hop on here real quick if some news drops. And I think something just landed on my head. Anyways, you guys, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.